The Real Estate Photography Podcast is brought to you by TourBuzz.net, high definition virtual tour and photograph hosting, now with interactive floor plans. Sign up for your free trial today. Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Photography Podcast with Mike Muriello. This is going to be the first episode in a new series of episodes, and it's going to be called Critiques. But it is not critiques in the sense where I would be critiquing you. It's actually critiques in reverse, where you are going to walk us through uh, a shoot that you have done recently or that you've done since this point, all the different shots of this room that you thought. You're going to walk us through your photos, your thought process, and basically teach us, and help us learn from your experiences. So I thought, what better way to kick it off than with a shot that I recently had, and I will walk you through this is a kitchen shot, and I'll walk you through the photos, and I'll tell you what I don't like about them. Usually is what I don't like about them. What I do like about them, how I could improve, and then I'll show you, what I thought, and hopefully, by walking you through that, maybe we'll learn through sharing. So before I started off, I would say check the blog, check the site, and I will have detailed instructions as to how to get involved with this and how to come on the show and do that. So here we go. All right. So I had to photograph this kitchen, and I'll start off. And this is one of the flops, by the way. This is one of the shots I do not like. Um, I'll just get right into it. For me, a lot of what real estate photography involves is is math, and I've never considered myself a very strong math person, but I can I can figure out an equation. Give me a break. But really, what I mean by that is it's about proportions, and I should say proportions and straight lines. And this photo has neither of which. It doesn't have straight lines because this never made it to the pick pile. So this really doesn't have the right proportions. Look at how large that island is. I really do not like that. I mean, the island is a fairly large, object in the kitchen, but it's not that big. Proportionally to the countertops across, it doesn't look right. And the other thing, what I mean by proportions, is how large are the cabinets close to me in proportion to the cabinets farther away. And this one doesn't have that big of a problem. It happens when you get really close to cabinets, when you're looking down the line. But this one doesn't have that problem, but it does have the surface proportion problem. That island is way too large. I should also say that I'm responsible for staging this. The homeowner staged it, but I'm ultimately responsible for moving things around and making sure that they're nice and flowing. And for me, I definitely need to put something on this island, but not right in the direct center, maybe off to the left or something, to take away the focus of this big empty space. The other thing I don't like about this is this light here. Now that light, and you'll see from the other photographs, it's perfectly straight on as well as just like this one, but it appears to be curling up to the left. Well, that's because most of these wide-angle lenses, they have terrible distortion problems right here, right here, right here, in these corners, and right there. They start to pull out. And if you don't believe me, this is the exact problem I'm looking at. Most of the time, we look at it and we say distortion is usually just this curved line problem, and you can see it on the right side too. But really, it's much more complex, and it's pulling and stretching this image. So I really don't like that. So like I said, that was the first shot of 4 that I took of this kitchen. So we're going to the second one, and the second one, usually the shot of the day comes at the end. This time it was the second one. So here is, I should probably go full screen. It'd probably help out a little bit. This to me is the shot of the day. And the reason why is, for one, I was thinking about staging, put the objects there. It kind of just leads. The photo is very flowing. My straight lines are straight. It works. But the only thing I don't like is the 1+ foot of snow outside of the window. There's not much I can do about that. If I were like a professional retoucher, maybe. Um, but I'm not. One other thing I don't like I said, I always am very hypercritical of my own work, so I always talk about what I don't like more than what I do like. But um, you see this line here, this line of bright light? That's not a hallway light. And if you can see from the color temperature, it matches that outside of the window. And that's because that's coming in from the front door. She's got a storm door coming into this house in the long hallway, and that light is just coming down and shining and stopping. That's distracting to me. Now, 99% of the people who look at this photo will not be distracted by that. I will be, and I wish I could have fixed it, but like I said, I make mistakes every day, live and learn, move on. Um, so the other thing was with this photo, it didn't start off like this. This is a vertical shot, but it's not in the proportions that we're used to, because if I go into my crop tool, you'll see, you know, over 2/3 of this photo originally is ceiling. And I should just say that sometimes when you're doing vertical shots, this is what happens. The camera's pretty high, it's up 6 feet up, it's above my eye line. I had to go a little bit higher. And you get a lot of ceiling. And this ceiling doesn't contribute to the photograph at all. So that's one of the things that I liked about the in the post process. What I liked was I cut down that ceiling because it just doesn't help. All right, but at the time that I shot this, I didn't think that this would be the shot of the day. This wouldn't be the official kitchen shot I went with. So I went over and I shot this one. A couple of things. I I always go into what I don't like first. Okay, you know what? I'll just reverse. I'll flip that on its ear. The one and only thing I like about this is the fact that this light is in the center. That's about it. That's not terribly great. Okay, so what don't I like about it? I don't think it's a flowing photograph, composition wise. I think it flows from left to right, but doesn't flow back again. Your eye is led from left to right and it stops right at these cabinets. Think about how much space these cabinets are occupying in the photograph. Not important. Those are not important at all. We don't need them. Another thing I don't like is the way I left the staging. So if we go back to this one, that's where those things are on the island. I left them there. I thought, we'll be right. That flower pot is kind of an eyesore. These things need to be off to the left side, and that I'm pointing with my finger, sorry. And that flower pot needs to be behind this. Another thing I do not like about this is the chairs. Now, if you go back here, the chairs are fine. Nothing happened with the chairs. They didn't become off center. I changed my point of view. So what needs to happen is we need to fix the spacing in between these chairs from my new perspective. So I didn't do that either. So all around, and I know this sounds hypercritical, but these little tiny details matter. Um, Overall, I don't like this photograph, very much. So that's why I went with the other one. And this is the last one of the 4 shots that I did. Um, okay, here's why I'm not a big fan of this one. Uh, I actually I have already packed up. I finished the whole, shooting the whole house, and then I came back into the kitchen and I said, "Whoa, I missed this shot." And it's for good reason. I grabbed my stuff, I picked it and put it all back together. And, you know, I took this shot, and when I came back to the computer, I looked at it. Well, first off, obviously, I'm in the reflection, and that's because this shot, like the other 3 that this one, number 1, number 3, number 4, never made it to the final batch, and it's because, well, partially because of that reflection, but we can remove that very easily. I don't like what this picture highlights, and what this picture highlights is this space in between the island and the countertop. Now, with some kitchens, highlighting the space in between really works. It works very, very well. For me, I don't know. This one just didn't. It just didn't flow as well for me. Obviously, I'm a lot lower, angle-wise or height-wise. Um, this photograph led itself to be a little bit lower, as framed by the doors over here. But I just like what I'm saying is I don't like all this space. Oops. I don't like all that space. Hardwood's nice. Cabinets are very nice. It's just that the main feature of this kitchen is not space. It's the beautiful island. So if you go back, this highlights the space entirely. Or sorry, the island, and you get a feel for the general space, in between and around, by the bar stools and behind them. This picture only shows this, like I've already said it. It highlights the emptiness. It highlights the cabinets, but that's not the main feature. So you always think, what's the main feature of this? So anyway, like I said, this is I'm criticizing my work here, and I'm saying I've had 25% success rate in this shoot. You know, three flops and one success. So that's what I'm just trying to share is what's going through my mind. Yeah, and I know it sounds I'm being really picky, but that's what your competition is doing. That's what everyone else is doing. They're being hypercritical. They're being very careful about what they think and how they analyze these pictures. So that's what I'm going to do too. So, if you'd like to come on the Real Estate Photography Podcast and critique and review your own work, I will have detailed instructions on the blog, on the website, right after this is posted as to how we go about doing that. The whole point, like I said before, of doing something like this is to share your workflow, talk about what you were thinking, be critical about what you were doing, basically so we can all learn from your experiences. It's just like a workshop. So if you'd like to do this, check it out. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good one.